All right, hello everyone. I'm Advetica.eth. This is community call number 3 for reality cards. Today is Friday, October 8th, believe it or not. And I'm joined today by the core reality cards team. Very excited about
Hello.
this one. How's everyone doing today?
Doing great, thank you.
Come on, Friday. Let's get going.
Yeah. Woo!
Yes.
Happy Friday. Happy
There we go.
Friday.
We got lots going on today. It's a jam-packed call as always because we are always hard at work here. We've got lots of updates, lots of improvements, optimizations, and a lot of things coming down the pike. So today's call, before we get into it, I just want to get in front of everyone's question when POAP, and that'll be happening at the end of the call. Slight distribution change. We'll, instead of scanning a QR code, we'll be stating a secret phrase that will be claimed via the POAP application. So if you don't have the updated version of that app, I suggest that you go ahead and hit up your mobile phone app store for that update as to be able to claim that code at the end of this call. So it has been a solid couple weeks since we've had our official open beta. We're no longer whitelisting. We're allowing any and all people to interact and enjoy our platform. Andrew, how's it going? Like, how's the feedback been? And just give us a little update on the open beta.
Yeah, it's going good. I mean, it's going to be a very, very short little update, but it's going good. Like you say, we've been open a little bit over 2 weeks now. I think people are a lot happier not having to deal with any annoying whitelisting, and it certainly saves us a lot of time. So it's been great. We've been, hopefully, our community have noticed. We've been, ramping up the event schedule much more than we've done before. We've got, 3 to 4 events open most of the time, which has not been happening before, which is absolutely fantastic. In the short period of time it's been open, we've had 14 events, which is absolutely fantastic, from a wide variety of artists. We've had, I just added up before this call, we've had $76,000 of bets made, which is absolutely
Wow.
fantastic. But we need to get that higher, and so we are going to, explore some community initiatives in this call about how to get more people taking part of the beta. But we'll save that to the end. But yeah, so it's going great so far. And no, technically everything's been running absolutely smooth. A couple of exceptions caused by the graph, but we'll talk about that later as well.
So that's really good. Yeah, that makes a good point. So a lot of these events, it's awesome that we're having higher volume, that we're having a larger spectrum for people to interact with events, whether they be sports or crypto or pop culture. But those events are largely led by artists and their ability to create the actual work and NFT to compete for. That's what we're in this for. We want the NFTs. We want all the goods. So one of the things that we've started doing is a artist onboarding program, and that will begin happening next week. So it'll be sort of twofold. One will be going through step by step the process in how to become an artist. What are we looking for? Both from a technical standpoint, the dimensions, the file types, and getting you acclimated with the Reality Cards platform. And then we're also going to start onboarding sessions for new users, setting up wallets, getting you comfortable and acclimated with interacting with Polygon, and establishing how that actually works. Because sometimes, especially for new users, if you're not inundated with crypto already, it can be a fairly intimidating process. We want to sort of lower that technical barrier so it's not so intimidating, and you're focused more on competing within these events than you are trying to get into the system. So I'm wondering, with that being said, Maddie, if you wanted to maybe discuss the upcoming events that we've got going on here.
Yes, sure. For example, we have a new upcoming event this week on Sunday, and it is an event about Rocket Pool and its launch. So we will be asking if Rocket Pool will be launched in October, basically. And then we will have different events for the next week, 3 events. And one is about sports, another one about NFTs collections, and the last one about a different kind of topics. So, for example, as for sports, we have an event submitted by our community, and it is a basketball match between Brooklyn Nets and Milwaukee Bucks. So this is the opening match for the new season, so 2021-2022. And then we have the event for NFT category, which is about Pudgy Penguins collection and its price floor. This is a very trending collection this month, so it's interesting. And the last one is about Tesla quotes. So this is for the next week. And then for the following one, we have a very good news because we have a new partnership with Float Capital. So we are going to launch an event about this. And well, the last one is one about sports category. And it is a football match between Barcelona and Real Madrid. But of course, the amazing one is the one with our partner. So the Float Capitals event, yeah. And then I would like to show you some examples of artwork for these events. And we already tried to make them be created by new artists. So this is the new process that is slightly coming. So I just share with you my screen, just 1 second. Okay. So can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, these are, for examples, the artworks for the Rocket Pool event. This for the outcome no, and the other one for the outcome yes. So this. And this for the yes one.
This is great. I love this.
Yeah, I love it too. And then the other one is for NBA, so for Brooklyn Nets and Milwaukee Bucks match. This is in the case Brooklyn win, and then this one if Milwaukee Bucks win.
Was born and raised not far from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so I think I know what side I'll be choosing for this event.
Yeah. Then this is a quite different kind of style. And this is for Pudgy Penguins. So like we can say a cartoon style, something like that, for the above result and for the below one. And I really like this sad face of the penguin and
That's
the
funny.
fish. Then this, for example, is for the football match for Manchester winning. Sorry, this is for another event we are going to have at the end of the month. I didn't mention before. I'm so sorry. And this is a match between Manchester United and Tottenham. And so these have been created by a different artist. So this is one for Manchester United outcome and the other one for Tottenham outcome. So just to show you different kind of styles for different events we are having in
Absolutely.
the few weeks. Yeah, that's all.
This is great. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
I'm wondering if we could maybe just briefly dive into sort of the events for those not already familiar with rally cards and how we establish the results for those various events. We can see that obviously they're different types, right? So it's anything outside of a sport that's maybe not as binary of a win and loss. I think it would be curious for new users and how we establish that. So I guess two questions, and I'll maybe have Splidge answer these. The first one being, in a general sense, how do we as reality cards establish the results to events? And then I did see, looked like some, Maddie presenting some rocket pool art. Didn't we already have a rocket pool event?
Yeah, so in general, we try and do a lot of the work up front and try and find an event where there's going to be an open data source where we can verify the result. So quite often we will, in the event description, link to a source. So for price floor, we can link to OpenSea, or we can link to other places. Like for the rich list, we used Forbes. That takes a lot of the burden off. Trying to verify the result. There have been some events in the past where we just simply haven't been able to run it because there's too many issues over what the result would be. But yeah, the rocket pool one, that was an unfortunate event where it was based on how fast the launch would happen, and unfortunately they had to delay the launch. And so the ultimate outcome for that was the event was invalid because neither outcome fit what actually happened on the day. And so everybody was given their rent back, but we didn't want to destroy the artwork. So the people who held the cards for the longest gets to keep the NFTs. And so what we're going to do is we've sort of rejigged the Rocket Pool event now to see if we can do it around when will they launch, because it's a bit up in the air right now, as far as I'm aware. So that'll be an interesting one, I think.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Thank you very much for that.
Right.
So I guess with that, with sort of since we're talking about rather some of the technical underpinnings and how reality cards works, I'm wondering, Mateus, if you can kind of walk us through some of the front end stuff that we would actually see from the user perspective.
Mm-hmm. Sure, of course. So let me show my screen. I'll show you what we have for you. Here. So during the latest release, we go with the clarity of what we are doing here, what we are showing. So, for example, for the pot size, we are showing initial pot size. So basically, this is sponsor amount, which is what we put in the market on the event on the first place. So yeah, now it's clear. You can see it there. The same is about closing time. You can see what time in your time zone the event is closing. It's a clear message. Next thing will be, we are displaying total and time owned of this card. That was suggested from Discord by DCC. Thank you for that. It's obviously it was needed. And Chi Squared on Discord also suggests that we should improve our ownership of lapse time formula. We had a small bug there, but now it's fixed. Now we are showing only percent of the time that where card was owner. Before we were displaying the whole time from a market start to this point of time. Now it's showing the percent of time only when the card was owner. There's a couple of things more. I will ask Vlad to tell us about ownership of the card. Vlad?
Yes, thank you, Mateusz. I want to discuss about the ownership of the cards. This is not a new update. This is something that it was here since we first launched. But if people have realized, since the open beta launched 2 weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago already, now the ownership of the card changes with the market state, and this is displayed actually in the UI. What I will do here, I will share my screen to explain exactly what this means. And this is not only important for new users, but it's also important for the current users to understand what is happening with the card. And actually the card is an NFT, and everyone knows this. But the ownership of it is always important in reality cards, because if you own the card, you accumulate seconds. If you don't own, you are just on the sides. But what happens when the market is before being open or after being open? So this is what I want to explain a bit. So I have here some examples of cards. When the card is first being introduced in a market, the market is being created. The card is actually not minted, and we are displaying this on the card. This is a relatively new change that Split introduced, and this allows us to have more cards for a market. This allows us to have more NFTs for one card. We talked about this in our Discord group. Now we are going to discuss only this case where one card it's only one NFT. So first, the card is being displayed on the site, and its NFT is not being minted until the market is being open and rented for the first time. So if you see it not minted and the market is open, congratulations, you are the first one to be there, and you can rent the card as low as 1 USDC per hour. Going next, while the market is open, the NFT of the card is changing hands from one owner to another, and of course now we are having a bit of delays with the graph. But in the contracts, actually, when you are renting the card, you are becoming the owner of the card immediately, and you can see your card in your wallet. So the card is either showing the current owner until the new owner, until someone else is willing to pay a higher price to get the card, or if nobody is paying for the card on unowned state. This means that the card is being owned by the market, is going back to the market, and is waiting for someone to rent it for as little as the minimum price. When it is unknown, it can happen that the card, let's say, has 0 chances of winning. So unknown time is not being taken into account when the pot size is being splitted. So when the pot size is being split to the owners of the cards as seen in the leadership, we are only taking into account the time that actually each owner owned that card. After that, the card, you'll see it as waiting for a resolution. This means that the card went back to the contract waiting for resolution. This in this case, nobody will be the owner of it until we know the actual winning outcome of the event. So once after 24 hours, even less than that, after waiting for resolution, the card becomes a winner and waiting to be claimed. We see here Splitch correctly guessed that Fnatic won the tournament. Of course, this is a joke. This Dota event is still open. It is still long time to go. And waiting to be claimed, it means that this card, either if it's winning or losing, the NFT of the card, it's waiting for its longest owner, the person who owned the longest and has the #1 place in the leaderboard. It's waiting for him to claim the card and actually take full ownership of this NFT. So after it's being claimed, the person will appear as the owner of the card on reality cards, but this means that the card can be transferred, can be sold, can be done anything that you can do with actual an NFT. So ownership, if you see, is starting from the market, is changing a lot of hands, and actually, if you go to OpenSea, you can see it in your wallet, of course, if you are the current owner. But if we go to, I will just choose the newest NFT here. We see it's owned by Anvetica. Congratulations, you are accumulating seconds on this one. But if you go to the actual trading history, you can see that the card was transferred from owner to owner. So this is very important to the NFTs that we are having on the platform. And as I said, from being minted, I need to scroll up a bit. I think this event was open only for 2 days, but yeah, the card was rented many times. From being minted by the market and being rented for the first time, the card change hands until the event will be finished and the card will be claimed. I think some of you have seen the cards being waiting to be claimed and being owned by someone, but I think some of you didn't see exactly how the card it looks and how it looks to claim an NFT, and mostly because the NFTs now are being owned by only the longest owner, and they are being really scarce. But we are going to change this. This is just a sneak peek. So when it's being waiting to be claimed, and it's clearly me being waiting to be claimed here, you can see it in your trophy cabinet as like this, but it's not being owned by you yet. You need to claim it actually first, and I'm going to do the claim that. Oh, well, okay, it failed. Give me a second.
In the meantime, I would like to assure you that we are working on this type of issues.
Okay, yeah, Konstantin for sure will discuss because he's all over it. I'm going to confirm it here. It's being confirmed, and now if you see, it's owned by me. But now I have full ownership of it, and I want to show you that I can really do whatever I want with it. So this is why I have the remix open here, connected to the contract. And I'm going to do a transfer transaction. A transfer transaction, you can do it from your own wallet, you can do it on OpenSea, you can do it in any way that you want. But if you see, I can confirm it here, it's pending. And as soon as it's being confirmed, the card disappeared from my trophy cabinet. I'm going to look for it very, very fast. This is the only ended market. And we see the card here, and it went to Splish. Splish, you are getting all the NFTs today. I hope this made things a bit clear for everybody who was thinking about the ownership of this. And we have another very important feature that we want to announce today. And this is why I will let Splish do a demonstration, right?
Yeah, so we've had a feature in the contracts, which we've just sort of opened up to everyone. And I think it's going to make it a lot better for people trying to, and you're going to have a lot more strategies with how you're going to place bets. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Okay. Can you see the screen share?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, it just says it's paused. Okay, so what we have here is an event which is currently running. But let's say I want to rent this card, but I think the current owner is...
like it failed. Now you might want to try to unshare and then reshare once. There we go. Now you're good.
Okay, it's moved to the other screen for some reason. What if you're looking over here? Okay, so we have an event up here, and let's say I want to rent this card, but I think that this price is a little bit over the odds, and I don't think that this person can sustain renting it at that price. It'd be nice if I could put a lower price in, and when they run out of money or they decide to exit it, I can take it off them, which is what we can now do. So what I can do is I can actually put in a price. Let's say I want to put in 8.5 USDC per hour. I can place my bid. And while we wait for that to happen, I can show you that down here, we have added a rent list, which will show you the current owner. And it shows that if this person loses the card, this person is the next person in line. So they will be able to take the card off them. And this is the order. And now you can see my bid's gone through. I now am in the rent list. what this will let me do is basically I can decide how far up and down I want to be. Now there is one little technical thing to hurdle, which not hurdle, but one thing to bear in mind is we put in some protection here. It would be quite unfair if, say, I wanted to rent, like Dirtok here is renting at 12.1 USDC per hour. If I put a price of 12.2, it would be a bit unfair for him and we'd end up with a lot of fighting and jostling. So what we've put in is, as well as when you want to own the card, you have that 10% minimum increase. We have a 10% spacing in the rent list here. So let's say I try and rent it off him. If I try and put in 12.2, so I want to go slightly above, I place my bid. The contracts will actually look at who's just below me, and it'll say you can't do that, and it'll put me lower my price. It'll only ever lower your price. It won't increase it. And there we go. My price has been lowered to match the person above that I've been put behind him in the queue. So that's just a little bit of a feature there. And so what this means is if I wanted to jump ahead of him, I would have to put a price up somewhere around where this person is. I can easily put, say, 15 USDC per day. Confirm. When I go down, I'll be able to see in a moment, my bid will jump and I will overtake Dirtok, and I'll be waiting to get the card when the current owner runs out of money or decides to exit. I think that's mostly it for the rent list and underbidding.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Just anytime we can add like another layer of strategy, it's always fun. It really like gamifies it even more. Let's see here. Oh, that's actually a good point. So, Constantine, speaking of bidding here, I know that we've had a few hiccups in terms of players mentioning that they're unable to make bids on cards at some times. Do you want to maybe explain what we're seeing and how we're resolving that?
Yep, sure. Yeah, I will tell a few words about performance side of our application as well. So one of the problem is that users may notice that there were some periods of when data on UI was a bit out of sync with blockchain, and it was caused by graph indexing delays. So now we decided to start fetching some most critical data like deposits, ownership, card prices directly from blockchain, and I hope next week we will release those updates. Yeah, and I believe it should help to eliminate those kind of situations when you deposit some USDC and you're not seeing money there and waiting for some time until you see it on UI. In parallel, we've deployed and currently testing our own graph node, which I believe should allow to reduce latency of data sync. Yep. So yeah, I believe with those updates, we should eliminate the wide range of bugs which we are seeing, and this like particularly bugs related to MetaMask when user tries to rent one card twice because data on UI was out of sync. Well, that's briefly it, and in parallel we are continue to investigating performance issues and trying to like improve application in that area.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for that. Let's see here. Before I go into some of the new card updates, Mateus, did you have any updates in terms of like new upcoming front end stuff?
So yeah, upcoming weeks we are going to focus on performance and stability of the application. Those really important things for us, and I think we can improve on this area. So yeah, that's where we are going to focus very heavy. So I hope will be even better.
Awesome. And we'll just let everyone know if something doesn't work to DM you, right? Specifically.
Yes, of
And
course.
only.
Yes, do it. Yeah. Yeah, sure. We noticed that you are giving us lots of insight on the Discord. So if you have any problems, bugs, or ideas, ping us on Discord. We are happy to acknowledge any of our problems, issues, and fix it to make everything better.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that Reality Cards is focused on is, the showcase, the big show is the NFTs. It's the art. That's what we're chasing. That's what we're after. The prediction market is fun. We all love money, but we all love showcasing and showboating more than that, I think. And one of the things we're working on are updated card templates for the NFTs themselves. And I'd like to showcase some of the designs that we're working on. Now, before I get too much into detail on these, I really want to preface and drive home that we're still working on these, both in design and in mechanics. So nothing is set in stone here. Not to say that everything that may be presented today will be in that form when it's deployed, but just to kind of tease and let you know exactly what's kind of coming down the pike here. So let me share my screen here. And what we're thinking of doing is introducing a tiered system within the NFTs themselves. Is everyone able to see my screen okay? Perfect. So this is the top tier, so the winning OG print. And what we want to do here is embed the artist asset, which is the artwork we're seeing here, specifically the golfer, and provide some context around that artwork, so that when you're showing off to your friends or you're showing your family like this cool new platform, without even knowing what Reality Cards is, they can sort of, from this asset, from this design, kind of come up with what it is we're doing here, and that's collecting NFTs. So here we can see that as the OG print, we've got this nice protective case to make sure that our NFT is safe from any weathering and scratches, and then we've got the actual event information. So the title, in this case, will have a very brief summary as to what the event was, when it was maybe, and what the winning outcome was, in addition to the overall pot size for that specific winning event and the time owned as the participant in order to get that NFT. And then on top here, we have sort of a what sort of amounts to a authenticity sticker, I guess, if you will, vouching for that it is a one-of-one mint. It will have the date of the minting and QR code that will actually, if scanned, direct you to the event itself, so you can kind of see the details of that event unfolding on the website. And then we've got a OG print sticker here. So this is just a rough concept. This would be kind of what we're shooting for, what we're chasing. The next step down from this would be a standard print. Actually, I'm sorry, before I even go to that, we've got different colors then indicating categories. So that's the other thing that we're exploring, is leaning harder into, is this a sports event? Is this a cryptocurrency event? Is this pop culture? And the cards themselves should reflect those different categories. So that's another thing that we are looking into and exploring for these NFTs. Next, to step down is just the standard print. So without a casing, without the certificate of authenticity, and just this would sort of go out to everyone in that winning category, to say that, yes, in fact, I participated. I may not have won, but this is my card saying that I've was on the correct side for this event, and you can kind of showcase that and show it off to your friends. Now, this is the third and the bottom tier, and again, just to preface this, none of this is set in stone. We're still kind of working out the mechanics and also the design on this. But one thing we're exploring is the losing side, the losing ticket. And this was sort of inspired by those of you that may be familiar with like horse racing. or sports betting in Vegas, they have paper tickets that you get, which is effectively amounts to a receipt, proof of your bet. And as a losing event holder, this is what you would receive. It's basically just saying that, yeah, I was there, I participated, but I definitely did not win. Is sort of the vibe that we're chasing here. We may or may not include the actual art for the losing side. That's something that we're exploring as well, but just to kind of give you an idea of what we're cooking up on our side. Would love to get user feedback on this. If you would like to see, if you're looking at this, you're like, oh my gosh, why don't you have this feature? Please let us know in the Discord. We would love to get some of that feedback and see if we can implement some of those changes. Likewise, what I'll be doing is submitting a Google Forms form in the Discord asking, is this something you're even interested in? Do you want a stripped down loser ticket? Do you want a really polished OG print? Is that something that is even of interest? So we would love to get that information from you as well. And so speaking of new initiatives and everything coming down the pike, Andrew, do you want to maybe expand on what we can expect outside of those card templates?
Absolutely. Thanks very much indeed for that overview. And I absolutely want to repeat what Michael said. I
think we lost them.
Maybe that was strategic.
All right. Well, let's do this. While Andrew gets back online here, I will go over more in depth on the weekly user onboarding sessions. So we will have those posted in the Discord, and we will also advertise those on Twitter. It will be a once a week session, probably up to an hour, but no longer than 90 minutes. And again, we'll go through the whole process. So as a brand new user, pretending that you know nothing about cryptocurrency, we'll set you up with your first MetaMask. We'll make sure that you are set up with the RPC endpoints so that you're configured for the Polygon network, which is where the Reality Cards platform is hosted. We're then distribute both Matic and USDC tokens, which allow you to interact with the platform itself. And it looks like Andrew's back here.
Yes. What was the last thing I said? Sorry about that. I'm having internet issues.
You basically cut out right away.
I cut out right away.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. Yes. Okay. So yeah, Michael, thanks very much for sharing the card designs, and would really love feedback from anyone, particularly on the question of whether or not we should have artwork images in the losing outcomes. That is something we're internally debating. And also, I wanted to talk about how it's going to be a really fun technical challenge for us to implement this, because it involves us changing the NFT image after the event ends. So after it's been originally minted, because the idea is we want it to actually display information like how long you've owned it, blah, 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 blah. So that, and I'm not sure of any other, not familiar with any other project doing something similar. So that's going to be quite a fun challenge for us, but we're up to the task. But yes, the main thing I want to talk about is sort of like new initiatives to sort of make things a bit more fun for the community, a bit more engaging. The first thing we want to implement is, I'm sure you guys are familiar with leaderboards on individual cards. The idea is that it measures how long everyone has owned a card. We're going to implement a global leaderboard. So across all the events, it will start ranking users probably based on how long they've owned winning outcomes. We're still debating that kind of thing. So that'll be something where users can actually compete with each other across the entire site, not just on an individual event, which we think will really help gamify things. And of course, once we have a global leaderboard, then we can use that leaderboard for other initiatives. Something else we're working on to help with user onboarding, we're going to start implementing soon a very simple little faucet just to help people make their first bet. So we'll give people a very small amount of funds in order to just rent a card for a short period of time, so that we can get people over that original hurdle of like, how does the actual rental process work? So that is something you can look forward to hearing more about soon. Quite a big thing really is that we want to implement an entire new NFT collection celebrating achievements on reality cards. The idea is when you do certain things, for example, you rent your first card, you rent cards from 3 different categories, you rent your first winning outcome, you collect your first NFT, you pay more rent than anyone else. Okay.
Attention, please. Attention, please.
This is bad timing,
This is
guys.
the test of the fire and voice alarm system.
Right.
There is no need to take any action.
This is bad timing. I didn't know there was going to be a fire alarm test in the middle of this community call. I don't.
Attention,
Michael, do you want to
please.
quickly
Attention,
talk about
please.
the next session, and I'll come
This
back to
is
me
the
in a second.
test of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fire and voice
Yeah,
alarm
all right.
system.
I'll be back in a second.
Yep. Wonderful. So continuing on before Andrew cut out, so we will be having those onboarding sessions. Again, those are once a week. And we'll walk you through the wallet creation, getting set up on Polygon. We'll also deposit both USDC and Matic. And just a quick note on that, especially for new users that are like, well, why do I need 2 tokens to interact with this platform? And that is because since we are hosted on Polygon, we'll issue you Matic tokens, which is effectively used for gas to interact with transactions. And then the USDC itself is used for the betting and for the events themselves. So that's why we have the 2 tokens there. I'll get you set up with both of those. And then we'll walk through step by step, going through viewing events, looking at different options within those events, placing your first bet, toying around with underbidding, and how those things work. So that's something to look forward to. Again, those will both be posted on our Twitter and Discord accounts, so keep an eye out for that. We'll also put that on our Medium too. We won't. Yeah. So the next thing here is. Oh, looks like you still got to go. I'm thinking for the achievements, maybe we add to the list, Andrew.
Yeah, sorry, it's just finished now. Yeah, apologies about that.
Yeah,
that was terrible timing. So yeah, we're good. Anyway, as we say, so thanks very much indeed for talking about the user onboarding. Quick question: do you have a very approximate ETA on when we might start rolling out the weekly user onboarding sessions?
Yeah, I suppose at this point it's a fairly arbitrary date. So let's just call it every Wednesday starting next week. How about that?
Starting next week. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Anyway, so where I was talking about achievements before the fire alarm went off. So the idea is when you do certain things like rent a card the first time, or you participate in 5 events, whatever, we're going to have a new NFT collection where we will issue achievements from. So when you do certain things, you will automatically get an NFT to represent that you've achieved something. These NFTs will be displayed in your trophy cabinet, which we will shortly be renaming Collection, because that makes much more sense. So really, this is a way of users gamifying the platform even more. But most excitingly, what we're going to do is we are going to use certain achievements as the basis for POAP.fun raffles. So only users that have jumped through certain hoops within the platform, have achieved certain things, will get access to raffles. And it's to be determined. We'll discuss later like what the prizes will be in these raffles, but it will most likely be a small amount of money, and also some unique NFT drops, which we are not at liberty to discuss yet. But that's basically the crux of it. And we want to have these regularly. So probably on a weekly basis, we will have POAP.fun raffles, and you will need certain achievements within the Reality Cards ecosystem in order to get part of these, to be allowed to take part of these raffles. So that was basically it from me. I just had one tiny thing on my list. This is unrelated to what I was just talking about. We had a user question submitted, which was, is there any plans to adjust the minimum 10% rental increase? And the answer is not in version 1. In version 2, we do have a plan on making that dynamic based on how long it's been since the card was last rented and the rental price, but that won't be for a while. So that was just a quick aside because we had a user question submitted on that topic.
So I'm thinking maybe one of the achievements is going to be how many times have I killed Andrew in Among Us? Maybe we do one of those. Yeah.
Yes, and how many times did the fire alarm go off in your room?
Sure.
We're going to have a new achievement for that.
Very scarce one. Very scarce. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a 1 of 1 for me.
Awesome. Well, very good. I want to thank everybody for jumping on the call today. As you can all tell, that there's a lot going on. There's a lot coming up. So I very much appreciate everyone taking some time out of their day and sharing with the community exactly what has been going on and what to look forward to. Before we cut out here, any last remarks? Anything anyone wants to get off their chest at all?
How to get POAP?
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah. Thank you, Constantine. Yes. So for today, the community call number 3 POAP. What you'll do is you will claim, again, like I said, with the POAP wallet. In the bottom right-hand corner, you will see a mint sign. You will hit that button. You will select secret word. And today's secret word is in reality cards, the number 3. Reality cards, number 3. All one word, all together, all lowercase. It is case sensitive, so reality cards, number 3. Oh, Splidge has got it. There we go. Shutting it down now. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for showing up for the call. You can look forward to the next community call next month, along with our community play along. I think what we'll do is we'll be stacking those events. I like how that flows. So whenever the community call is scheduled, the day before, we will have the community play along. And just to echo what Andrew was stating, there will be POAPs distributed on there. Those will also be used in the future for entry into POAP.fund raffles. So I encourage you as community members to attend these events so you can participate in these events, these raffles. So very good. All right, I will let everyone go. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. All right, these streams.